remaining afloat and resilient amidst turbulence in the marketplace. Tourism arrivals to the Caribbean region remained buoyant in 2011, continuing the recovery process which began in 2010. Still, there were signs that we're not yet out of the woods. The figures reveal uneven growth among the destinations, and revenue continued to lag arrivals. Overall, the Caribbean welcomed an estimated 23.8 million tourists in 2011, a 3.3% rise over 2010, when just over 23 million stayover visitors came to our shores. With the exception of May and October, which were down marginally, the region recorded a rise on arrival every month in 2011 over a corresponding month of the previous year. Tourist arrivals during the winter months, and we approximate that by January to April arrivals, were up 4% over the previous winter, which had also grown 3.9% over the 2009 period. The summer period ending December recorded a lower than expected increase of 3%. Among the factors contributing to this performance were lower consumer and business confidence and a weak US dollar. The larger destinations, including Cuba, the Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico, and the US Virgin Islands, continued the historical trend of leading growth in the region. This subgroup, which accounts for more than half of all arrivals to the region on an annual basis, grew by 4.2%. Tourism in the Dutch Caribbean performed slightly better, recording a 4.9% rise, with robust performances in Curacao and Aruba of 30.9% and 5.6% respectively. Reflecting poor performances from the European market, the CARICOM community, Caribbean community CARICOM had a much slower rate of recovery, with arrivals up by just 1.2%. This was a result of modest growth of 1.8% in the OECS countries, coupled with a 1% increase in arrivals to the other CARICOM countries. The larger grouping of Commonwealth countries made up of CARICOM plus Bermuda, the British Virgin Islands, and the Cayman Islands recorded a 2.2% rise, while Martinique, the lone French Caribbean destination reporting during the period, saw arrivals going up by 3.9%. When we look at the markets, we can say that Caribbean recorded modest performances from all major source markets in 2011. Silver arrivals from the United States were up 1.7% compared to the previous year. Anguilla, Barbados, Belize, and Curacao were among the destinations with increased visits from the US. Contrary to the norm, there were fewer US residents arriving in some destinations that traditionally benefit the most from this market. On the other hand, Canada continued to outpace all other markets, with arrivals from there up 6.8% over 2010. This represented a continuation of the sustained growth experienced in the market over the last 5 years. The arrival pattern has not changed much, with Cancun, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic receiving the majority of Canadian tourists. However, 13 other CTM member countries also recorded increases in arrivals from Canada. Of the 23 destinations with market details, 14 reported increases in arrivals from Europe, with Barbados 6%, Cancun 3.9%, Curacao 2.9%, and Cuba 1.1% being the better performers, receiving hundreds of thousands of Europeans. Several other destinations recorded growth in arrivals from Europe on much smaller numbers. Still, compared to 2010, the overall figures from Europe remained flat, with the Caribbean recording a 0.6% increase. The United Kingdom continues to be one of the most important markets in Europe for the CARICOM countries. When we take into consideration only countries that have reported, the CARICOM countries received over 58% of all arrivals from the UK in 2011. This figure is likely to change, however, when we receive data from the remaining member states. With the 23 countries reporting, we experienced a decline in arrivals from the UK for the third straight year, mainly due to a weak economy and increases in the air passenger duty. Tourist arrivals from this market to the CARICOM region increased modestly by 1.7%, thanks to increases of 4% or greater to Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Montserrat, and St. Vincent and Grenadines. It should be noted, however, that arrival levels were still below those of 2007. There were encouraging developments in intra-regional traffic, which grew by 3.5% when compared to 2010. But there were concerns for those OECS countries for which the Caribbean remains the most important market. This subgroup recorded a 9.8% drop in arrivals from the Caribbean. The larger countries in the Commonwealth country group experienced a 10.3% rise, led by Barbados, Guyana, and Jamaica, which reported robust increases of 15%. The hotel sector performed marginally better than last year, than it did in 2010. According to Smith Travel Research, average room occupancy was 61.8%, compared to 60% in 2010, while the average room rate reached US $167.56 compared to US $163.36 in 2010. These results indicate some measure of recovery within the subsector. This notwithstanding, indications are that the pattern of visitor spending is changing significantly throughout the region. Nervous cost-conscious tourists are using the most economical sources of goods and services available in the destination. This switching from higher cost to lower cost suppliers have resulted in the reduction of average spending, which has contributed to the stagnant or ebbing foreign exchange reserve streams. We're going to take a look now at the cruise performance for the region. In 2011, there was continued growth of the cruise industry internationally, with the grouping of cruise lines serving the region, Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, reported that 14 new ships were inaugurated for international ports of call, with convenient departures from nearby catchment cities. Current cruise ship orders extend through 2014, include 26 new builds of 19 ocean-going vessels and 7 European cruise river boats, with 51,000 berths at a value of nearly $12 billion US dollars. Huge investment in cruise ships reflect the commitment and optimism of that industry stakeholders. But destinations in the Southern Caribbean were severely affected by the redeployment of several cruise vessels, particularly during the summer months. Much of this rescheduling saw the relocated ships playing routes outside the Caribbean. Consequently, the cruise sector showed no appreciable change in 2011, with cruise passenger arrival increasing marginally by only 0.3% to reach 20.6 billion. This inconsequential change in Caribbean cruise arrivals was in contrast to the 6.6% increase worldwide predicted by the cruise industry for the international arrivals in 2011. The outlook for 2012. Economies in both North America and Europe are still under considerable stress. Higher than usual unemployment continues to prevail in the main markets, where monetary and fiscal systems remain under intense pressure. The US is into an election year, and while some may anticipate this as a reason for US travelers to stay home, there is no hard evidence to substantiate this. The Olympic Games in England this year could also be a significant distraction from north-south travel. It is expected that the continued addition to cruise stock internationally will have a positive effect on Caribbean schedules, if only residually. However, high oil prices, and the tendency to import close to densely populated catchment areas in places like the Mediterranean and other large European countries, especially in summer, will be some of the factors contributing to the dampening of Caribbean cruise business overall in 2012. In light of these realities, arrivals to the Caribbean are expecting not to exceed a 3% increase in 2012, and visitor expenditure is not expected to grow meaningfully during the year. Based on the preliminary schedules, cruise arrivals to the Caribbean are not likely to rise by more than 2 to 3%. Thank you.